hitting the streets, then you know we got the voice. News, views, real talk, no retreat. Welcome to Word on the Street, hosted by Lonzo Williams, brought to you by the Hub City Legend digital newspaper and the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. Watch us live or call in and join the conversation. Your voice matters, your opinion counts, and your story could be next. Word on the street! Word on the street! Like it, share it, subscribe. Hub City Legend, keeping Compton connected, one conversation at a time.
Hey folks, this is Lonzo with Word on the Street with my girl Sharifa. What's up with you, darling? How you doing today?
I am excited to be here.
I'm glad to have you. I think I worked out all them technical issues from last week. And I've done 2 more shows. I had no problem since then and before then. So maybe it was just our first show jitters. I don't know, but we're gonna keep on doing our thing anyway. You know, Sharifa, some of y'all may know her, some of y'all may not. But she is a go-getter. That's why I like her. She's a go-getter. She's ran for various offices, and I bet she was the president of the Long Beach Chamber of Commerce, something like that. She's just founded a new organization called the People's Chamber of Commerce. But the one thing that she does that I admire about her the most is she knows how to ask for money. And that's something that as an entrepreneur, I don't mind charging you, but it's always been a thing for me. And today she's going to talk to us about grants, prostate cancer, and action for money, because we got to get money for prostate cancer. Sharifa, take it over, baby.
Yes, I want to go back to something that you said, because one of the things that I believe is in words. I believe that the power of life and death is in the tongue, right? And everything comes down to verbiage and semantics. So when you say, I can't ask for money, but I'm so used to making money, it's the view of money, right? So when we're asking for money, even if we're providing a product or a service, you're still essentially asking for money. So if you have a club and people are paying a door fee, you've asked for the money. You just haven't literally stuck your hand out and said, give me $10 to come in. You know what I mean? But there is a process in place. What I find is that when people say they have an issue asking for money is because they themselves may not see the value in what they are offering in return for the money, if that makes sense. Because it has to be an equal frequency. It has to be an equal give and take. So for you, and one of the reasons I really wanted to have this conversation is I'm very excited about your cancer walk that's coming up in October. And I think it's very important that people support you and support what you're doing, because this is something that you've suffered with. This is something that you personally have experienced. So before we even get to the money, let's talk about your situation and how you got to the walk. I think that's the most important thing.
You want me to expound on that right now? I can.
Yes, please.
You know, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2011. Mm-hmm. Regular checkup, feeling fine. Had no idea that anything was going wrong with my body whatsoever. And the doctor said he felt something a couple of years prior, and he was going to keep an eye on it. Well, I had been seeing some things about prostate cancer, different commercials and infomercials, whatever the case may be. So I said I wanted a second opinion. Mm-hmm. And when they took the second opinion, they sent me to a urologist. Urologist gave me Flomax and some other medications that allegedly can shrink the prostate if it's just an enlarged prostate. And that didn't have any effect at all. And next day they gave me a biopsy. Now the biopsy makes you want to hurt somebody, because they go through your back door and start cutting off pieces of your prostate to get samples so that they can run into the lab and see if there's any cancer in your prostate. Mm-hmm. And the lady's back there, she's kind of laughing because I'm clenching up, and she said, "Oh, you're a big guy, you can handle it." Ain't gave me no drugs, no alcohol, no nothing.
He said no alcohol.
No, nothing. He
said I was sober.
I was sober as a judge, okay? And she says to me, I've been doing this for 25 years and I've never been hit. I said, you know what? They just can't get my arm because I'm finna mess up your day, but I can't get my arm back there to knock the hell out your ass. Anyway, 2 weeks later, I go back to the doctor and they tell me I got prostate cancer. It's and you don't hear nothing. You don't hear the prostate, the numbers. All you hear was cancer. Mm-hmm. My brain just edited out everything he was saying. All I knew was I had cancer, and it messed me up like nobody's business. Mm-hmm. I left there like a zombie almost. You know, I sat in my car and cried for about 15 minutes before I turned it on. I called a couple of people, and I didn't know what to do. I had no idea. I felt totally alone. And I skimmed through some of these pamphlets, and one of the things they showed you in this book is that when you have any kind of cancer, any kind of traumatic situation, you go through various stages of emotions. One of them was denial, the regret, and I forgot all the other ones. But as time progressed, I'm getting more and more self-pity. Oh. And I started talking to people about it, you know, just in conversation. And when I talked about it, you know, brothers is cold-blooded. Brothers can be cold-blooded. Yeah, man, I heard you got cancer. What you gonna do with your studio equipment? Yeah, bro, I heard you got cancer. What you gonna do with your Cadillac in the garage? You can't drive it to heaven, nigga. I mean, it's like they pick it. They already doing my damn yard sale, my estate sale. Estate sale. Like, yeah, they doing my estate sale already. Mm-hmm. I'm like, boy, your shoulder's cold. So to make things clear, at that time I was still running my club. I walked on the stage at the club and I made an announcement. I told the DJ, cut the music off. Hey man, I know some of y'all may have heard I have cancer. It's prostate cancer. Mm-hmm. They caught it early. I'm gonna be okay. People gave me a round of applause. And as I walked off the stage, I didn't walk off the stage 3 steps. There was a brother standing right by the steps of the stage. He said, Lonzo, I didn't know you was like that. Like what? Man, I was in jail for 4 years. I ain't never let no man do nothing to me. Oh, you think because, no. He said, man, I'll die if I let a man put his finger in my behind. And I'm like, damn, are you that ignorant? And I'm like, okay, man, whatever, dude. This all happened in 15 minutes. Everything I'm telling you happened within a 15-minute period. I left him, walked over to the bar. Another brother jammed me up, said, man, that's awful brave of you, Lonzo. Man, I've been dealing with prostate cancer for 3 years. The chemo did more to me than the prostate cancer. I'm like, damn, I'm sorry to hear that, Doc. I left him, headed to see my cashier. Another brother, hey, man, how you know you got prostate cancer? And I'm like, dude, I just found out myself. I don't really know. So one thing was clear to me at that point, that brothers have no idea about prostate cancer and the treatments or anything like that. And I'm still feeling sorry for myself. About 4 days later, I was riding down the street and on the corner of Avalon, El Segundo and San Pedro, there's a bus stop. At that time, that bus stop was home to about 7, 8 people. Not doing very well financially. They just sit at that bus stop all day long. I knew most of them. Some of them I went to school with. I looked at the bus stop. I'm feeling sorry for myself. And I said to God, I said, man, why they couldn't have it? Why I got to have something like this? I'm a pretty decent dude. I take care of people, blah, blah, blah. You know, I take care of my business, go to church, all that kind of good stuff. And he didn't say nothing right away. I get home. I'm sitting in my Big Daddy chair, still feeling sorry for myself. And God slapped me upside the head like a schoolyard bully. He said, fool, if they had it, would nobody listen? Mm-hmm. And I started talking about prostate cancer. And more people started gravitating towards me. And then something happened right after that. It's 2 things happened after that changed my whole mindset. I'm still feeling a little depressed. About the prostate cancer. And a buddy of mine comes in the cafe that I'm managing. He looked at me and said, "Man, you all right?" I said, "I'm all right, man. What's happening? Man, you don't feel like yourself." I got prostate cancer, man. I'm just trying to, just fucking with me. He said, "Oh man, I got you dealing with that. It ain't nothing. Ding, 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 ding. What happened? So now I want to know. I want to know." So we sat there for about an hour and a half, man. He gave me everything to expect, and it lifted my spirit so high because I finally got somebody that I could talk to about prostate cancer. Nobody, my lady, nobody knew nothing about it. And after I talked to him, I went to go see my buddy at the Watts Healthcare Clinic, James, and I'm still, feeling better, but still got some questions. And a black doctor was walking past the door while I was talking to James. James said, "Doc, come here for a minute, will you please?" He called doctor in. James introduced me to the doctor. He says, "This is my boy Lonzo. Man, he just got diagnosed with prostate cancer. Is there anything you could tell him?" He said, "Ask me a couple of questions. Where's it at? What's your PSA? How much? What part of your prostate? What stage are you in?" I said, "I'm stage 1. I found prostate cancer in 2 parts of my prostate." Doctor said, quote unquote, "Nigga, you ain't even sick. If you got to have cancer, you want prostate cancer or skin cancer in the early stages. They're the easiest one to cure." He said, "Do like your doctor said, deal with it, and in a year's time, it's going to be like a bad dream." And when he said that, now my other shoulder, the other thing is lifted off my shoulder. And I'm like, okay. I had my prostate removed. And because my man told me everything to expect, I knew what to expect. I dealt with it. And my doctor gave me a prescription for therapy that I will never forget. I'm 1 week at the hospital. Doctor tells me, "Mr. Williams, your therapy for the next 6 weeks or the next 6 months is to get as much sex as possible." I said, "Huh? That is your therapy? To get as much sex as possible?" I said, "Are you serious?" He says, "Yes." He says, "Like any other muscle, if you don't use it, you will lose it." And I love therapy. So I'm like, "Hey, you ain't saying nothing but something to do." And that, man, hey, he said it's gonna be messy, but it's gonna be all right. And shoot, and after that right there, I've been preaching this ever since, babe. I've been preaching this ever since because I understand what it means to have somebody that you can talk to about this. When I do my prostate cancer walks, I usually have a man-to-man conversation with brothers. A lot of brothers have prostate cancer. They don't like talking about it.
Right.
We don't like talking about prostate cancer because it affects 2 things: the back door and Mr. Johnson. Now, we'll lie about Mr. Johnson. We don't play about the back door. And so many black and brown men, especially black and brown men, have this homophobic thing that if you have a finger inserted, that automatically gets you an invitation to the gay pride parade. And it ain't that kind of party. And now that they have a PSA test, which is a simple blood test that they can take and check for the prostate-specific antigens. That's what PSA stands for. Excuse me. The doctor can do it just like when he draws your blood for any other disease, and just check it, he'll look for it. But if you don't know the acts, you don't know. So this is what we promote with the prostate cancer walk. We talk to brothers, we help hold brothers' hands. One of the saddest things I ever heard in my life, I did the same story I just told. Did it in Sacramento, and the brother was 47 years old. He said, "I wish somebody had talked to me 2 years ago." He says, I'm about to go into hospice, stage 4 prostate cancer. He wasn't 50 years old. And that broke my heart. He said, "Man, I wish somebody had told me earlier." And I have talked to brothers as young as 37, 38 years old with early stages of prostate cancer. So it's one of them things that there's no, they say it's based on what we eat, a lot of what we eat. Because we eat bad now, everything, chemicals and everything. And the prostate and the it's right next to the kidneys and all these other glands, and it gets exposed. And it's only used primarily for carrying the fluid from your sac to out the door. But because it's so close and it's so vulnerable, it tends to get cancer a lot easier And again, because there's no symptoms, when I tell cats, when you start getting symptoms, you pretty much in trouble. Okay.
Right.
And that,
But we have a lot of information, and I think I want to go back to the
hold on, everybody went off the screen for a minute.
the aspect.
Say
Everybody went
it
off the screen because I thought I was getting my solo. I thought this was about me and my
again.
response to what you had to say. But I want to go back to what you were saying initially when we got on about asking for money, and that is very difficult for you to ask, which is one of the reasons why I wanted you to share your experience, because you're doing this cancer walk. And one of the things that you mentioned is that one person, if he got the information 2 years ago, he might not have been in the same situation he's in, right? So you want to be able to reach so many more people. It always reminds me of, I was doing one of my podcasts with a guest, a dear friend of mine that I've known for years. She's a shaman. Her name is Shaman Isabella. And so I had the opportunity to sit down with her and do a 1 hour interview. And I was just in the mood that day because I always have all of these people who are always prophesizing over my life and telling me, where I'm going. And they always see money. So I got to interview Shaman Isabella, and I was like, oh my God, I'm lonely. I'm single. I've been divorced since 2003. Why is it that when people prophesize, they always see money? Like, can they ever just see a man? Can they see a husband? Like, I don't even, want to deal with this money. And Shaman Isabella said to me, she was like, but Sharifa, think about all the good you can do with the money. Think about all the organic farms that you can create and the communities that you can create and the people that you can serve. And she had this long list. And when she finished the list, I really felt bad and I felt guilty for not wanting the money. And I was just like, okay, give me all the money. Just give me all the money. So
I'll fix everything. I'll fix it.
I'll take it all. I'll take it all. Right. And so that's how I look at asking for money and going out to get the money, is because for the walk, the cancer walk you're doing in October, what would you be able to do? September. I'm sorry. I keep saying October. In September, what would you be able to do with the money? Let's just, be that little kid. Be the 7-year-old Lonzo who could wish upon a star and say, if you gave me $50 billion, this is how I would serve mankind.
I would spend more time in churches talking to men's groups. I would do more podcasts about this. I would do more PSAs. I would dedicate more time in the a bigger section in the Hub City Legend for prostate cancer. I mean, even what we're doing right now, we have a relationship with Channel 11. They've been supporting us for the last 5 years. So, I would definitely have more media surrounded around prostate cancer and make substantial donations to prostate cancer research. But more so than anything, get more information about the finger. I'll have it on right now. The finger. Fear, I call it the fear of the finger.
Mm-hmm.
The fear of the finger. That finger right there can clear out more rooms than the police than the undercover cop in the dice game. Okay? They run for it, but this finger has been made fun of for so many years with comedians. It's the butt of a lot of jokes. Oh man, he stuck his finger in my butt, didn't kiss me, didn't take me to dinner. All them little silly jokes, and it's put a stigma on it.
Right.
When it was just a finger, and now that it's PSA and some other situations, and even if I had prostate cancer 5 years later, I might have had to have my prostate removed because they have proton treatments that goes directly to the cancer and it knocks it out. No, you don't have any downtime. That's what I call it, downtime. You don't have any downtime. It kills the cancer and you keep on moving. I got 5 kids, 6 grandkids. I'm still making babies, so I'm cool. But I still like getting my groove on. Okay, don't get it twisted. So, and I had to say this also: cancer runs in my family. My sister had it. My mother died from ovarian cancer. My brother had prostate cancer. He died before prostate cancer was a factor. So I don't play with cancer. My mother, if she'd had a hysterectomy, she might have lived. So when I found out I had it, I'm like, you know what? I'm not taking no chances. I don't want to piss it off. I'm going to get rid of it, and I don't need it no more. But again, these are some of the things that may help me make my decision. My only job is
Right.
I want brothers to be out there to go out and get checked. Stop being scary. Stop being scary. Every gang got these finger signs and shit. This one finger, the gang sign, boy. This one finger, whatever this gang sign means, it means run, be scared, punk out, whatever the case may be. I tell cats all the time. You say you'll take a bullet for your family. You take a bullet for your homies. Take a finger for your family, sir. If that's what it comes down to, will you take a finger for your family? And it ain't like he gonna be doing all kind of crazy stuff. It's a quick check to see if they got any lumps, and you out. And people have made such a big deal about it. And like I said, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It makes no sense. I still have to get the finger thing just to make sure there's no blood in my stool.
Right. But you know what? What I would recommend, this is what I would honestly do, because I sat and I watched. I would take this podcast after we're finished, and I would edit that little finger clip, take a finger for your family, and I would make it into a commercial, because it's clear and it's a cool message that people go, what? But I would edit that into a 30-second spot. And I would, again, you have to get the resources to be able to promote these commercials. Advertising costs money, media costs money, all these things cost money. And so, you and I, we always talk about, oh yeah, Sharifa, you will ask for money. And that's what we're supposed to do. Scripture says that you have not because you ask not. And it tells us if you ask, you shall receive. You knock and the door shall open. And so that's what I want for you in your cancer walk in September, is for you to be able to get the resources and get the money and get the funding to be able to promote content that is more about awareness, because a lot of people don't know, or they're afraid. But if they see a big strapping guy like yourself and like, take a family for your finger, like that would be my whole campaign. Take a finger for your family, and that's it.
And being a triple OG in hip hop, they won West Coast hip hop. All the youngsters that danced to my music in the 80s, you pretty much you're prime target for prostate cancer.
Right.
One of the DeBarges just died, prostate cancer. Africa Bambaataa just died from prostate cancer. I just read a few minutes ago, Aaron Hall from Guy had prostate cancer. Farrakhan had prostate cancer. O.J. Simpson died from prostate cancer. Lou Gossett Jr. died from prostate cancer. These are just the ones that I can think of off the top of my head, names that you would know. Not to mention the hip hop cats that have called me privately that I'm not going to talk about. Oh yeah, I've had to talk to a few brothers about prostate cancer that you know their music, but a lot of cats don't like talking about that stuff. And that's okay. I'm a communicator. That's what I do. God made me to run my damn mouth. I've been running for 69 years, and I do it pretty doggone well. So if I got to be the mouthpiece for prostate cancer, so be it. I ain't got no problem with that. Like I said, I ain't no gangster, but I've done some gangster shit. We got a guest that's popped in right quick. Where you go? Anthony, where you at?
Right here.
Hey, there you go, Doc. How you doing today? I see you
fair for a square.
I see you in the dugout watching the show. I appreciate you stopping in right quick. Talk to me. You got any comments on prostate cancer?
Okay. Well, I was kind of listening in, and I see her point as far as the finger being the main thing, but at the end of the day, what she had your wish, I'd have said $100 million.
$100 million.
And that's it. I don't need no more than $100 million. That's enough to get started, to do what you need, because it's more money than you're going to need to spend. And when the thoughts and ideas come at you, you don't need to have, it's better to have it and not want it than to not want it, than to want it and not have it. So I would definitely want to be in the mix of having that, and then your bashfulness keeps you from trying to be greedy. That's why you don't feel like going out there to ask, give you 100 million and let you go on about your way. You'll figure it
Wow.
out. You'll be able to bless people. You'll be able to you don't have to think about money. You just create.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. I'm gonna put you in the dugout for a
Yeah.
second. You're breaking up a little bit. I'm
All
be
right.
right back. All right, so we got a couple people chiming in. I like that. I see we got somebody watching us right now. We just started doing this our second episode of the show right here, and a word on the street. How we gonna describe this podcast, right?
I think it's the word on the street. And I think it's just whatever we want to discuss, whatever it is that we want to talk about. And I think that was very important for us to have that conversation today. And it's one of my favorite topics since I spend a lot of time writing grants for nonprofit organizations or finding funding for profit corporations. The one thing that I see is that most, especially nonprofits, do not ask for the money. Most of your nonprofit leaders have been in corporate America, and corporate America has given them a bad taste for money. So they're like, I just want to help people. I just want to be, of service. And what they don't understand is that being of service requires money. When I was in politics, that was my favorite line that I would always say to people when they say, "Oh, Sharifa, I believe in you. Sharifa, I support you." I would always say, "Yes, I appreciate your support, but I need the physical manifestation of your support." And when people
Physical.
hear physical manifestation, they often say it has to be cash. But sometimes the physical manifestation is signing up for your walk, being in the walk, showing up. But I need you to do something besides just sending love and prayers.
Right, right. Okay, I got that. I got that. All right. Also, tell folks about your grant writing services. That's something I put your ad in the paper today for also the grant in the Hub City Legend. So tell them what you do.
Yeah, I find money. That's the gift from God. I've been asking for money since I was a little kid. That's what I do. I will go out and ask for money. But after I did the IPO in 2016 and we raised about $6 million, but I'm a .com baby. I've been building companies, taking companies public for a long time. But you begin to see patterns, right? And so all I do is position people. If you have a company, if you have a nonprofit, if you're a 501c3, most people, for profit, nonprofit, it doesn't matter. They don't ask for the money. So the flyer, I think the one that you're referring to is my whole message. If you don't want to ask for it, I'll ask for it. I'll go after it. I'll go get the money because I'm really good at locating and researching grant opportunities and sponsorship opportunities. And most people don't have an idea of how to put together the ask, meaning the sponsorship deck. So I put together the ask for them and I go out and locate those funds for the companies.
Okay. All right. That's simple enough. Sharifa, also, if you're available next Thursday, why don't you come to my mixer? I'm having the mixer with
Yes.
the it'll be with the South Los Angeles South Chamber of Commerce. Dexter
Okay.
McLeod to be there, talking about the Olympics. I love you to do a presentation talking about the your grant writing skills as well.
Yes.
Somebody just hit me up about a grant writer, and I couldn't figure who it was. But yeah, next Thursday, Dollar High Center, 5 o'clock, we'll be at the having our July mixer. It's all about getting ready for the Olympics. We're wrapping up the FIFA games right now. Olympics is coming up. Super Bowl's coming up. Special Olympics coming up, and everybody's talking about all this money.
Yes.
Remember, it's supposed to be raining money.
It is raining money, and there's so much money on the table, whether you're for profit or nonprofit. They just have to be able to package themselves. And you mentioned that's one of the corrections that I wanted to make is use like I was a part of the Long Beach Black Chamber. No, I was the president of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce for
My bad.
Long Beach.
Okay.
But no, it's fine. But I was the president during COVID. And that taught me a lot because what I found when a lot of other ethnicities, let me just say that, were getting and receiving PPP funding. A lot of our businesses weren't receiving that funding. And one of the main reasons they did not receive the funding is easy to just say is because they're Black. But it was more than just that. Many people who have been operating their businesses and they said they had businesses, and I will use the air quote because it is what it is, but many of them didn't have EINs. Many of them hadn't filed their business and incorporated their business. Many of them didn't have bank accounts. They were just saying they were in business and their monies are basically under the mattress. You know what I mean? And so what I want to do and what I focus on helping businesses do to go ahead and formalize your business, because if you are going to receive any type of government funding, if you want to go after government contracts, you have to have your business and your paperwork and your documents in order. And I had a Zoom actually this morning with the economic development department that actually handles government grants. And Enrique, I want to shout out Enrique. He's incredible. But one of the things that he pointed out to me was that one of the excellent aspects of government contracting is that there are people who have been in the judicial system and they have that scarlet F. You know, there's nothing in government contracting that says you cannot have a criminal history. So maybe a person is trying to look for a job when what they really should be doing is going into business for themselves. But what happens, not just with the finger in the butt, is that when we're afraid of something, we just don't do it. We're like, no, I don't. But we have to help people overcome so many different fears, because success and happiness and joy and financial abundance is on the other side of their fear.
Got you. With that being said, I'm gonna see if our guests have any comments. We're gonna wrap the show up. We going out on a high note. Listen, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis, you still there?
Not yet. Yeah.
All right, we're about to close out. Do you have a comment you want to say before you close out?
I think that lady's very special.
All right.
I think there's an anointing on her.
All right.
You
break it up a little bit. You break it up. I'm gonna take you off the screen, but I heard what you said. He said you have an anointing on you. All right, let's get some anointing around this joint. Very much. Please.
Well, I love that. I received that. I told you, a lot of people, different people have prophesized a lot over my life, and everything that I've done on this journey has started with an argument with God. And people were like, how do you argue with God? But God told me, he said, Sharifa, I want you to help people. And I said, God, have you met people? Have you seen these people that you speak of? And I said, no, I'm going to go get a job. And I went and got a job. 6 months later, I was laid off. God said, Sharifa, I want you to help people. And I said, no, I'm gonna get a job. I got a job. 6 months later to the day I was hired, I was laid off. God said, Sharifa, help people. I said, no. This literally happened 7 or 8 times to where God was like, Sharifa, I don't know if you realize this, but I am God, right? So I had to get to a point of saying, I hear and I obey. And now everything I do is about being of service. And my gift, I tell people, is I was blessed with the gift of manifestation. I'm going to find me some money somehow, some way. I'm about to manifest it. And that's what I do for people.
All right. That being said, Sharifa, we're going to wrap this podcast up. This is another episode of Word on the Street, hosted by your boy Lonzo, co-hosted by Miss Sharifa Hardy, the queen of financial manifestation. You'll be seeing her live at our mixer next Thursday, July 30th at the Dollar High Center, 5 o'clock. Come on through, folks. It's free, but come on through. You can always make a donation. In the meantime, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later, folks. Thank you, Donna. Mr. Anthony, thank you, sir. Peace.